Nigerian politics today, yesterday, and since after independence. The manner in which they come to power and their daily political business is totally killed and defied. They are insatiable and think little or nothing about the betterment of Nigeria. Considering the citizens in their policies is just mere formality and never any day showed inclusive governance. As we speak, it is the government of politicians by the politicians and for the politicians. These few politicians are seen currently in power, especially the imposed as ruling party. Nigerians survived on their own risk. If it could cost them, the powermongers, up to 5% to 10% of the lives of the citizens to have their way, it is good to go for them. The 1999 constitution was well maligned and dictated to favor the North highly more. Was handed over by Abdul Salami Abubakar. MKO Abiola was incarcerated, later poisoned with tea on the day of his release, just like Jaja of Opobo. Atrocious indeed. His wife was long assassinated before his release. That happened because he won the 1993 democratic election as the electoral chairman. Then Prof. Humphrey was refused to bow under duress and announced the rightful winner, which was MKO Abiola. That wasn't the expectation of the Northern Caliphate and military hierarchy of the Northern dominance, because they hoped to impose the Fulani. Ibrahim Babangida had to annul the election because the constitution needs to be fundamentally maligned against the South. That led to a delay before he was overthrown by Abacha. Abacha and his Fulani-led caliphate leadership in the North and the military hierarchy dominated by the Fulanis twisted the 1999 constitution in favor of the executive powers, hoping to impose himself before his sudden death. Already the 19 states in the North alone, with hundreds of local governments and the highest number of National Assembly members both in the Senate and House of Representatives, has set the gaps for impossibilities for the South, which is widely divided beyond unification. Divide and rule. Southwest their puppet. Southeast their almost non-existent zone. South-South, indefinable, nicknamed Niger Delta, their treasure captive. With this, the Muslim-dominated Southwest has been their convert. Danfodio's Ahmadu Bello's ideology, the same preempted by January 15, 1966 boys from becoming a national political identity, are scheduled to be announced unaware on 17 January 1966. So their convert is their first son, who is considered based on total submission and obedience to their belief and their ideology. Does this appear like a country or a nation, let alone democracy? This current structure of Nigeria is bound to fail beyond reasonable doubt. It is just a matter of time. The British purposely left power in the hands of the Northerners because she always is in control towards protecting her interest in Nigeria. Hausas and the rest of tribes in the north live under the control of Fulanis, who are originally from Futajalon in Sahel region. The Fulanis are always ready to take orders and the instructions from the British to protect and preserve British former business enterprise, Royal Niger Company, now Unilever, later rebranded as Nigeria. They do this because for them Nigeria is their inherited captive from their forefathers. There is no level playing ground between the captive and their captors. Every elite Northerner knows this fact, as well as every sober, conscious and reasonable Southerner elite. They know it all. The sad reality is that more than 70%, or let's say 70% of Nigerians still bat naked in the rain, thus lackadaisical and hungry, hence thinking about food. How on earth could this structure last as a country? It will continue to suffer her imbroglios in exploitation leadership as long as citizens remain ignorant, lackadaisical, and submissive to the threats of federal forces. Somehow, A tiny light could miraculously be seen towards the end of the tunnel of the old eastern region. That is south east in the south, indefinable south south. Only if the governors can unite and start putting a lot of infrastructures, in place, factories and basic amenities in place in the region. However, such dream is almost unachievable because the British in the north will always conspire to keep imposing their willing toes, the submissive representatives as governors, as we have today in the southeast and indefinable south-south. Nigeria is literally a contraption bound to fail and suffer in perpetuity. If you think these are lies or there are any place I misquoted or exaggerate, please prove me wrong. I don't need much fact to tell you this. This is from Unfolding Event Daily, and that is it. Thank you and stand up for what is right. In an unjust society, silence is a crime.